Welcome to Mishnah study. Masechet Demai, Perek Vav, Mishnah Yud Bet. Over here in this Mishnah, we're going to speak about a Am Haaretz who tells his shaliach, who's a Haber, someone who's trusted, to go ahead and please buy me a pastry from the shuk. And the way Rambam sets up this Mishnah is actually based off of three main principles to understand this Mishnah. One is that actually we'll go through it in a second. We'll read through the Mishnah and then we'll explain. So Am Haaretz she'amar lahaver, kach li agudat yirak echad, kach li giluskin echad, lokach setam upatur. ואם אמר לו, זו שלי וזו של חברי ונתערבו, חייב לעשר, אפילו הן 100. So an Am Haaretz who tells a Haber, right, tells someone who's trusted on Ma'asrot, please go ahead and buy me some vegetables from the shuk, or go buy me a pastry. Gluskin is a type of, like a lahmaniya, like a bread that's sweetened, right? More like a pastry. Go ahead and buy me one from the shuk. Lokeach stam, he could go ahead, he buys it stam, if he brings it back without mentioning what it is, upatur, right? He is patur. So let's explain who is what. And Rambam says there are three main principles that you need to know for this Mishnah. Firstly, is that we always have to remember that we're not allowed to sell Demai or Tevel to an Am Haaretz. And we are allowed to sell them to a Tamid Hacham, right? So the person in the shuk, he sees a Tamid Hacham coming. He knows he's allowed to sell him Demai. He knows he's allowed to sell him Tevel. But the second principle is that the mocher himself, the second principle is that the mocher, the person who's selling the shuk, is also a Tamid Hacham. He also knows the laws. The third principle over here that this is based off of is that the person that's selling knows that this guy coming to him is coming on a shlichut of the Am Haaretz. Right? So imagine someone sends a Tamid Hacham, right? A rabbi. Could you go please buy me something from the shuk? And he goes off to the market over there, and he finds someone else who's also a Hacham as the owner of the store in the shuk. And this owner of the store knows that when he's giving this other rabbi who's coming to buy as the shaliach, he knows that it's going back to the Am Haaretz. He knows that this rabbi is going ahead and taking it back to the Am Haaretz. The Haber is going to take it to the Am Haaretz. So therefore, if the Tamid Hacham who is the shaliach, right, the Haber who's the shaliach, tells the other Tamid Hacham, who is the store owner, please give me a piece of bread, right, or give me a pastry with this money. And he did not specify if he's buying it for himself or for the Am Haaretz. Okay, now the person who's selling it knows that it may get to an Am Haaretz's hand. So therefore, when he returns it back, whatever item he buys right now is patur from Ma'asrot. It's not obligated in Demai. Why is it not obligated in Demai? Because the store owner is a Tamid Hacham. And a Tamid Hacham who knows that this may get to an Am Haaretz's hands, he's going to separate Terumot and Ma'asrot first. He's not allowed to sell something Demai. So he's going to separate everything, and therefore anything that's bought, we assume that it is all metukan, it's all separated, and it's patur from separating Terumot and Ma'asrot. But if the shaliach, the Tamid Hacham, who's the shaliach, went ahead and told the store owner, this is mine, this money is mine, and this money is for my friend. Now he specified who he's buying for. And the store owner gave, okay, this one's for you, this one's for your friend. And he gave him 2 loaves of bread, or 2 lahmaniot, or 2 pastries, and they got mixed up. Okay, now we need to assume, now we're going to say hayav da'aseh. Both of these, when they got mixed up, they're both obligated to separate Ma'asrot from why? Because the store owner, who's the Tamid Hacham, is allowed to go ahead and sell another Haver, another Tamid Hacham, something that's Demai. and or tevel, right? That's what we said earlier. And now that it got mixed up, right? Because he knows that he's going to separate it. He tells him, he knows he's going to separate it. Now that it got mixed up, we don't know which one was tevel or which one was demai and which one was metukan. So therefore, we're going to have to go ahead and separate ma'asra. Even if it got mixed up with 100 of them. So that's the principle that this Mishnah is based off of, right? It's basically when the shaliach comes, did he specify that he's buying for himself, or was it just assumed that he's only buying for the Am Haaretz? And that's how the halacha is going to play out in this Mishnah plays out. And yeah, that's all. Rambam just says giluskin at the end of the Mishnah. He speaks about what a giluskin is that we mentioned. So we explained that it's actually it's a type of bread that has mitubal, has tavlinin, has spices in it, that is done crafty in a really nice way. So I tried to translate it as a type of pastry. That's what we're talking about over here. That's the end of our Mishnah.